Hell, it got a little shady in the 417 yesterday. We'll talk about that and some other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Later on the Waffle.
Oh, ha.
And we're back.
We're back.
So I wasn't really planning on seeing the eclipse. You know, I'd kind of seen them before and was like, you know, it is what it is. And
We just
stuff.
did
But-
this in 2017, didn't we?
Yeah.
And well, the one I remember was actually I was like in middle school or younger or something about then, and it was the same kind of thing. It's like, oh, it's like dim out,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
because it wasn't a
dim.
total
Good morning, Beth.
eclipse. Good morning, Beth. But what I thought was interesting, and I didn't get to see this, and now I kind of maybe wish. Maybe I would, but they said that if you actually in the totality, it's like a light switch.
Yeah.
You know, because it got dark here,
Yeah.
but there was
Yeah.
plenty of
It was-
light.
yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Plenty of
It didn't
light.
feel
If you
like
were
night.
inside your house, it was like, oh, it's
bye.
Yeah.
almost time for bed.
Yeah, and we've got the tinted
Thunderstorm?
windows.
Yeah.
We got the
Yeah.
tinted windows here, and so it's like, oh yeah, it looks kind of night-ish. But the people that were in the totality were like, no, as soon as it went, like it was just like a switch, boom.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you think about that's how powerful the sun is.
Yes.
And that was my other thought was, you know, even looking at it, you can see just the sliver of the sun.
Yeah.
It still was really bright.
Quite bright.
Plenty bright. You can
Yeah.
read, you know, and so I was expecting a little more than that, but no, I had a doctor's appointment scheduled, and so
Yeah.
I was expecting to just miss it completely, but I got in and out, so I was able to take a peek.
Good.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah.
totality's cool.
Yeah, I just was having coffee with three. There's 8 of us in the room. 3 of the guys had gone to different places. 2 in
Yeah.
Arkansas, 1 in Cape Girardeau. That was total, you know, the totality of the eclipse. So the pictures they took were pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And the way they describe
Yeah.
it, looking up, seeing the stars, you know, in the middle of the day,
Yeah.
that's pretty sick.
But let me think. NASA did not shoot down the moon during the eclipse.
No, and the rapture did not take place.
I think
know.
we have strong evidence it didn't.
I hope.
Yeah,
I mean,
we hope.
unless I've been fooling myself
Fingers
this whole
crossed.
time.
And as far as I know, a hellmouth did not open under the CERN reactor in Bern, Switzerland. These were the theories that I heard.
Speaking of the rapture, my favorite meme was the guy said, "I'm going to buy 300 blow-up dolls, fill them with helium, and set them off during the eclipse."
I saw that.
The other one was like, let's just go lay our clothes out in the front yard.
Yeah.
But, anyway.
Brilliant.
Good
Brilliant.
times, good times.
Yeah, it
The traffic was excessive on 62. Everybody was headed to like the West Plains area to see the eclipse. It was a steady stream of eastbound. I'm guessing a steady stream
Yeah.
of westbound.
Westbound, when I finished coaching
right.
last night, normally when I leave the high school, I will get onto 60 rather than taking the back roads.
Yeah.
You can get that, you know, it's a slight risk of your life turning right onto 60. But last night I sat there and I sat there
And
and I
waited
sat
there.
there. I mean, the traffic did not stop.
Yeah.
And so one car at a time as they're turning, you know, right onto 125,
Yeah.
heading north. I was like, it took forever.
Yeah.
I had 4 cars in front of me. I thought I'd never get on 60.
You know, and I had the thought as I was going into Springfield yesterday morning, and there was heavy traffic coming out. I'm like, you know what? If there was a light at 125, this
somebody'd
would
be dead.
backed
bad.
up
Yeah.
all the way to
Yes.
Springfield. It would have been an absolute mess.
Yes.
Well, the thing I thought was interesting because there were all the conspiracy theory memes about the eclipse and
Yep.
the rapture and whatever else is going on. I think it just, from a global, worldwide perspective,
Yes.
eclipses are not that rare.
They're not.
They
Yeah.
happen
this
fairly
really is
regularly.
something weird.
It's just like,
Eclipses
because it's happening over my town.
Yes,
it's a
eclipses
big deal.
and rapture theories are just proof of how egocentric we are.
Yeah, really.
Like,
Yeah.
there's an eclipse here where I live in this little sliver.
Yeah.
is it.
Therefore,
Yeah,
this is it.
The 37 over Africa in the past 20 years.
Yeah, we knew nothing
Clearly
about
that
those.
didn't.
You're
That
right,
wasn't
yeah.
anything to
Yeah, I
worry
had that
about.
thought yesterday. I'm like,
We're
this is a normal phenomenon. Could you imagine, though, like you're just, before the internet, you're just out there tootling around, some nomad. And you're
Right,
like,
Beth. I bet that's true.
Yeah.
Unless it was with the Amish buggies, that can happen.
There was a traffic jam in Diggins. Our reporter on the scene, Barry Retchloff, reported that, and
On
I
the
wanted to be
scene.
like, that hasn't happened very often.
Awesome. Oh man.
But yeah, so you're like a nomad person, and you're walking around, you're like, oh, it's getting quite dim, and you look up and you're like, ow, what is that? Like, I can't
Well,
see, I'm blind.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine. We were just laughing in our Bible study about the pagans who
Yeah.
somebody just said something kind of offhanded or superstitious, and all of a sudden an eclipse happens, and they're like, "You take that back right now!
The timing.
Throw some salt back over your shoulder.
That was the
walk
conversation
backwards under that ladder. Do something."
Yeah, that was this conversation that Sam the dentist here and I had. Was like, it's we know it's coming, we know it's going to happen, but can you imagine what would have been like 300, 400 years ago when it just like happens and they really don't even know
Yeah.
why.
And you can't
Well,
even really look
those two
at
gods
it.
up there are fighting.
Yes.
Yeah,
sure.
That's their worldview would have been very
There
different.
was lots
You can
of
imagine how
surprises
frightening that
back
would
in
have
those
been.
days.
Yes.
Like your hailstorm wasn't forecasted a week beforehand, like they do now with weather.
Well-
and you're sitting there, and all of a sudden you're like, "It's cloudy. Oh, what's falling from the sky?"
That's the cosmic ice machine. So I mean, you can imagine a happy dance like sweet ice.
Good point.
Get your buckets.
That's right. In the summer.
I'm just picturing a caveman.
I love the
sipping
pea
some
size.
water.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like,
it's
"Oh, it's
like-
so cold."
It's like Sonic Ice.
Sonic ice. Sonic ice is coming. Yeah, that's right.
Beautiful.
Oh, crazy
All the-
cavemen.
Yeah, the optimist caveman. They're all excited. The cynical ones are like, "Oh, the
ooh, I
gods
like
are fighting. We're all gonna die."
Just the panic of running around like ants. Then you're like, "Oh, it stopped."
You have the
Okay.
you have the ESTP on the Myers Briggs, and he's an entrepreneur, so he's gathering the ice. He set up a stand.
Is it yours? You have the S?
Yes.
I have the EN.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, ENTP. Pulled off at
great.
Seymour, went to McDonald's, took the last light at Seymour. It was good. From there to 5, turn off. My son and I went
Went
to Gainesville.
to Gainesville.
Gainesville.
Booming
All right.
metropolis of Gainesville.
It was booming yesterday, I'm
Was
sure.
Gainesville in the totality?
I think so.
I think so.
Well, that's
yeah, I
actually
heard
not that far.
Yeah, it's an hour and a half ish.
I've had court cases in Gainesville. I've been down there.
If you're ever in Gainesville and you want a delicious burger, Jamie runs a fabulous burger truck in Gainesville, Bo.
I always want a delicious burger.
Yeah, so go to Gainesville.
When
to
we
be clear.
not want a delicious
Yeah, the smash burgers, good stuff, double patties,
it.
all kinds, triple patties, all deliciousness.
Crinkle fries.
Jamie's the bomb.
Tell me
So-
crinkle fries come with it.
I think they're regular French fries.
Oh, that's a little disappointing.
Sorry.
I gotta tell you, I like.
Never mind.
the,
Sorry, Jamie.
I like the sweet potato fries at Beaks.
yeah.
Beaks has good
That's
stuff.
pretty
I've
good,
kind of been
yeah.
craving a buffalo wrap from there. I like a
Yeah.
buffalo wrap.
I like their wings. Their wings and their
Wings are good.
their wings,
Wings
and
are
the
very good.
Well, I'm
and
getting
the
hungry.
sweet
My
potato
stomach's
fries.
like,
are-
there you are talking about food again.
Yeah, well, that's what we do.
It's really growling.
But
It's a long. That's a
That was
long
me at
growl.
1:30 in the morning.
I was,
I'm hungry.
Where's the buffet?
on the food front, it was a little bittersweet for me because Los Compadres has restricted their hours now.
Yeah,
They're only
Still doing breakfast.
Yeah.
Still doing breakfast.
Just not every day.
Not every day, just Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I think.
Yeah.
But that sent me back to McDonald's for breakfast, where I have been a patron of breakfast for 3 decades, McDonald's breakfast,
Yeah.
and realized that they've brought back the
McBagel.
McBagel.
The
And
bagel.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan
I was
of
a fan of the bagel back in the day.
I get mine custom. I get the sausage bagel, but I don't like that breakfast sauce.
I don't know what that is.
No sauce.
I've always
What
been
is
confused
that?
about that.
And
breakfast
I take
sauce.
the
I don't
egg
know.
off. I just get
think
sausage, cheese, and a bagel.
Kind of hollandaise.
I mean,
It is kind of hollandaisey.
It's funny how I haven't had it in probably 20 years, but I knew immediately what you were talking about.
That
Like, yeah, what
sauce
is that?
Weird. Even when because I'd always get the
Special.
bacon, egg, and cheese bagel back when I'd get McDonald's breakfast back.
It's
20
not
years
the
ago.
special sauce from a Big Mac. That's
No,
like Thousand
no.
Island,
This is,
right?
This is a
No.
hollandaise type sauce.
It's its own little breakfast special
mock
sauce.
hollandaise kind
Yeah.
of
Okay.
situation.
And I don't like hollandaise sauce.
Whenever they come back, I always go, "Oh, I'll get the steak one," and then I eat it and go, "Oh no, this is not.
No, I don't want
That's not
fast
steak.
steak.
not."
Yeah, but
Because it's
I
not
do.
really.
I'm tempted to go get a bagel sandwich, but I'm also, I understand. You're at that age where McDonald's hits the stomach hard.
Yeah.
You got to keep your tolerance up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Imagine what it would do to me after 20 years. What are you doing to me?
You're gonna need intestinal surgery when you.
Yeah. No.
Oh
It's
man.
going down your esophagus. Your
Uh-huh.
esophagus is like, no, reject it.
Little fires are going off.
I think it's delicious.
I ate a.
No disrespect
like
to McDonald's.
No, they're McDonald's.
And they do
they're
some
doing
things for
fine. They don't
community.
need our
Yeah,
opinion.
They don't need our endorsement.
And,
We could use
My
that.
one negative review is not going to take them under.
I
no,
don't think so.
I ate a Hostess cupcake, which I don't have those very often.
And you are really living on the edge.
Yeah, I ate that, and I was like, I am spoiled because I share an office with a bakery, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's like-
Tough. Me too.
I have lots of good baked goods, and I'm like, this Hostess cupcake just doesn't hit like it used
I'll bet it
to.
doesn't.
I'm totally spoiled.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. But
I don't know.
Well, I did go to the doctor Monday, so
This is about your shoulder?
no,
Okay.
my
This is about your age.
My shoulder is it's different. My shoulder is the fracture's healed. I just have to do physical therapy, but I can do that now, which is a
look
big
at you.
deal.
Hey,
and
look at you.
it just there's things that hurt.
Pageant
I
wave.
gotta be. Can do some things. No, as a lawyer, I started wearing dress shoes at about age 25
That'll
every
get
single
you.
day. And I quickly developed a corn on my right little toe, an interdigital corn, right?
Of course, we're talking about Will's corn.
Yeah, we're
mean-
talking about it's the waffle. So I've had it for 20 years, 30 years almost, and I finally like I'm gonna go do something about this again. So when I'm thinking the dude's gonna get in there, he's gonna get something, he's gonna cut that sucker out, and then
Oh.
I'm done, right? Oh no, he's like you have your little toe is a hammered
You got hammer toe?
underneath that little ring toe. Yeah, the bakery definitely eclipsed Hostess. Very punny, Darren Chapel. Thank you for that.
That is very funny.
Thank you for that. So he's
Wow.
like, we gotta fix your toe. So he's like, I'm gonna cut the skin here and here. I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna shave these bones out and rearrange them, and then sew the skin together, less the part I take out, so it rotates your toe back to where it belongs. I'm like,
What the heck is a hammer toe?
it's where you got one toe that goes under the other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hidden toe.
I guess I didn't know.
Oh.
I'm kind of assuming
shy
since
toe?
he told me.
I had no idea.
That's what it was.
I've
Well,
heard
it's
of that
because
phrase
those
before.
shoes pinched my toes
your-
in
yeah.
for so long. That little toe just went underneath.
That's why
it.
you quit wearing a suit.
This is
It's one of the reasons I
Yeah.
quit wearing a suit. Yeah, I didn't want to do
The
that. By the way, my
hardships
books should be in. The paperback should be in on
Yeah,
Friday.
I saw the cover
So
there.
that all happened yesterday?
Yeah, I went to the doctor. No, he didn't do the
Oh, he
surgery.
just arranged
no,
it. I was
no.
like, what?
I don't know when the surgery is going to be, but get this. I got to wear like a funky shoe for like 4 to 6 weeks.
Yes.
I'm out for 3 days with my
Yes.
foot up. It's
I
like,
like it.
it's like
This
it's outpatient surgery. They don't put you. They give you sedatives, but you don't go completely out. It's not full
Yeah.
anesthesia. But it's kind of a big deal. What I loved about this doctor, he was great.
Kind of a big deal.
He was at well, when you're down for that
Well,
long.
yeah,
I
it
think,
is.
but,
No, it's a surgery.
it's
yeah.
a surgery. But,
Yeah.
So
But this doctor, he was really cool. I really liked him. He was with the foot doctors there off Montclair. He was a lot of fun. But he was just
would
very
you call him a podiatrist?
podiatrist. Yeah, he was a podiatrist. But he was a lot of fun because he was very straightforward. And he was like, "What do you do for a living?" And anytime anybody asks me that, I sort of go, "Well, it's a little hard to explain."
Entrepreneur,
And I
judge,
usually
lawyer.
just say,
More
"I'm a lawyer by trade, by training." You know,
Yeah.
I got a couple other things that I do.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, okay, but you're not an ambulance chaser or anything like that." I'm like, "No, I just estate planning and that kind of
Yeah.
stuff."
Now called
And
Funny
Call Brad.
question from a
I
doctor.
sold my criminal practice at MissouriTrafficTickets.com.
Seven, seven, seven,
But
seven,
he-
seven, seven, seven.
That's the other guy.
That's Zach
That's
Man.
that's Aaron.
Oh shoot! I shouldn't say that. He's gonna sue me.
Oh, what have you done? Well, it's been a good run, y'all. The waffle's done.
Not like he couldn't pay to endorse the waffle. But he was like, like any surgery, there's always some risk to go with it. You could lose a toe, you could lose a foot, you could die. It's like the chances are small. I'm like, I appreciate.
How small?
I appreciate.
We talk numbers.
I appreciate your forthrightness about that. I was like, yeah, I think I acknowledge that. Intellectually, all bad things could happen, but
I was having a conversation with
that could all happen walking out of the.
Yeah,
parking
it could all
lot.
happen.
Wow.
I was
Wow.
having a conversation with one of the long-term contractors I use. It happens to be a cousin of Jesse's. He's a great guy, wonderful family, and he had done some work for me. And then we were talking, and he was telling me about he has to have surgery, and it's a pretty big deal. And we were having the conversation, and I go, the best thing about surgery. He's like, "What's that?" And I'm like, people will leave you alone for a couple of days.
I know. That's really what I'm looking. He's like,
Hold on, I'm going to schedule something real
so
quick.
he tells me,
tumors or organs removed to get a couple of days off.
He tells me, it's like, you're going to have to, just stay home with your foot up for about 3 days. I'm like, I can do
Let me
that.
get my thumbs
I can
ready.
do that.
Let me
I
get my
can do
thumbs
that.
ready.
That's
You'll
right.
be working the whole time.
Oh, probably, but I'll have a laptop. I'll have it all there, and I'll have.
You never sit in one spot anyway, so.
Well, I sit in one spot for a long time. I'm just doing a lot of things while I'm there.
Yeah, when I have
So-
go ahead.
So I have a corn story.
Oh, congratulations.
And just did my surgery
Yeah.
You did.
last week.
You just snuck it in there.
No, I mean I did it myself.
Yeah.
So I went to Walmart, got the salicylic acid, and for 14 days or so, just kept brushing that on there once in the morning, once in the evening. And once it kind of starts to fall off, you sanitize your pocket knife, and you just kind of peel that layer off and get in there and get that corn out of there,
It's
pop it
done
out.
that.
early to
My
be
kids,
talking about
my kids are looking at me like,
Yeah, it's gross.
what are you doing?
I've
Like,
done that
Oh,
multiple
yuck. I
times
am
for
so yucked
years.
out
Yeah.
right
It just
now.
keeps coming back.
Yeah,
and
me
now I
too.
know why.
Yeah.
I thought, I don't know, because I'm an idiot, because I don't know what I'm talking about. I just thought there was always a little bit of that corn left. I could never get it all, so it would just kind of grow back.
Yeah. No,
But,
it's the way it's your gait. It's based on how you're walking, moving,
Well,
whatever.
it's
and your
that-
shoes
yeah,
and-
it's that
but with you,
toe.
it's the hammer toe.
Yeah, the hammer toe underneath the other toe repeatedly causes that callus to build up.
Yeah.
So I have to fix a toe to fix the problem.
Yeah.
Oh wow, wowie woo woo.
You won't get this anywhere else.
Hey, look-
Nowhere else can you get a 10-minute
My
conversation
stomach
about
has churned
about
42 times
corns
since
on
this
your toe.
conversation began.
At least-
Really?
Yeah. I mean, at least
I-
we're not talking
there's-
about the next day after eating corn. You know,
That's
like we
true.
draw the
That would be
line
worse.
somewhere.
Yeah.
There's
So-
something about medical talk this
Really?
early in the morning. Usually it doesn't bother me at all, but like before breakfast, I'm having my coffee. There's just some subjects my stomach's like.
Well,
no,
Will
I
and
don't wanna talk
I,
about
we're
that.
in that phase of life. He's just over the 50 mark, and I'm just under it. So it's just we're at that point where this is what we talk
telling
about. This is
people
what
about-
Talk about
old
our
men.
medical
Yeah,
procedures.
this is what old men talk about.
Cool.
And-
cool.
Thanks, Darren. Appreciate
Hey,
the
we're here for
endorsement.
you. We just hope this
Tell us
blesses
about
somebody.
your corns, Darren
And
Chappell.
I am retiring from the waffle. I am announcing that.
Chordology 101.
Good one, Beth.
Oh, wow. I
man.
never thought. Let's talk about I'm turning 40 this week.
Hey.
And I woke up and I've got a rib out.
Yeah, you're about to be able to
your
join this
present.
conversation.
rib-
Next week, Lauren's going to tell us about her corns.
I turned 40 and my cords
Hey,
sprung up
machines.
overnight. I had surgeries and things scheduled.
Oh, your shins are not going to be
My
able to handle the
shins are-
40s.
My shin blew out of my leg.
About right.
Does anyone have a bagel?
Oh,
Yeah.
boy. Yeah.
Oh,
I had a bagel this morning. Wait, we already talked about
we got him down at Storytime Coffee.
That's
Make
true,
sure.
they do. Good bagel.
No, I did. My birthday is this week, and it is the big 40. Even though I mentally put myself in my 40s 2 or 3 years ago, I do
Yeah.
that before a big birthday. I just
Yeah.
start telling myself, like, not because birthdays bother me; they're inevitable. They don't bother me at all. But I'm like, oh yeah, I'm already 40. I've been saying that since I was 38. for
It's all
sure.
down here. Best of
I know. I'm pretty much
Yeah,
identifying as a
but
But
50-year-old.
you got to think about this.
Yeah,
It's easier
yeah.
going downhill than it is uphill. So
Well,
I don't
yeah.
mind it being going downhill.
Yeah,
I'm okay with
and
that.
so
It's easier.
but I did. I woke up yesterday
Set your
morning and
expectations.
I was like, "Oh, my rib! I got a rib out." And I'm like, "This is a classic way to spend headed into the 40s, the 40." So yeah, there we go.
Well, let's make Lauren's day better. So the talking to Doug at Divine Deli, they got their liquor license, so they now
Yeah.
have their wine
Seen
stations
the wine
going.
thing going, yeah.
They're open some evenings now. I think Thursday, Friday,
enjoyed
Saturday
an evening
evenings.
out at Divine. Yes.
And he was telling me Saturday, I don't know, that their tapas menu is coming.
It's coming.
For the evenings,
Tapas is
potentially this
coming.
weekend. So tapas.
That's exciting.
It is exciting.
So we
Man.
what night was it?
We're
was
getting high class.
We're getting
Big
fancy up in here. Talking about corns and
And tapas.
tapas and
Corn tapas.
Dadgummit, Ballard. Oh, yuck. Golly, it's too early for this. Anyway, so we had the classic, like, we were all tired, and I can't remember if it was Thursday. I think it was Thursday night. And Jesse came home, and he's like, do you want to cook? And I'm like, I really don't. And he's like, do you want to go eat? And I'm like, yeah, let's go eat. And so I'm like, and he's like, do you want to go to Divine? I'm like, yeah, let's go to Divine. I was thinking that. And I look over at my children, and I'm like, you, we're going to go to Divine. And I don't want to hear, I don't like this, and they're pretty good
I thought
about.
you were going to say, you stay at home, we'll be back.
Stay at home, children. Here's a track.
You're
You're not quite there yet.
Give her a couple
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not quite there yet. And so I'm like, girls, this may not be your favorite dinner, but we're going to go have a grown-up meal together, and you're going to behave and not act like heathens. And they're good about that. And because I knew other people are going to be in there, enjoying wine, and they were. And so we go in, and we got the charcuterie for two and a Chicago deep dish, which I hadn't had a chance to have that yet.
I haven't either. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, it was very tasty.
Sure
I
it was.
enjoyed it.
I've yet to find anything there that
And
isn't very
the
tasty.
girls had a great time. They attacked our cheese plate and got the cheese they wanted.
Oh,
And
Beth.
oh my gosh,
You going to sprinkle dill on it too, Beth? You going to sprinkle some dill on that corn, cucumber
what was
tapas?
the other
killing
thing?
it.
Olives.
Olives.
Nice
Ooh.
olive. Ah.
It's a-
Olive relish,
Yeah.
delicious.
Oh,
Sorry, continue.
No, but we had a very good meal, Thursday night meal at Divine. I really enjoyed it. The girls enjoyed it, and I told Doug and his wife, Caitlin. Okay.
Now,
no.
Caitlin's not in the restaurant usually.
Okay.
So the manager gal, her name is Shannon, but they're
okay.
no relation.
Gotcha. Well, I could catch about 50% of the things I was hearing the other night because there was background noise, so I'm not good at that. And I was like, what?
Oh, you mean Saturday night?
Yeah, Saturday night.
Caitlin, that was Caitlin.
Caitlin.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. And because I had Shannon in my mind, and that makes a lot more sense
Yep.
now. Okay, got it. So, but I was saying, like, they may need to make a kids Lunchable, like a fancy kids Lunchable, and have that on the menu because I don't know what kids won't eat some
crackers and meat and
salami and
cheese.
cheese.
Yeah.
I'd eat it right now.
You get your kids Lunchable.
Boom.
I'm gonna have my adult
Brilliant.
Lunchable, which is what charcuterie is, right?
Yeah, adult
Right.
Lunchable.
I'm sure probably like
Yeah.
Lunchables ripped off a charcuterie, but
Either that or I want a sandwich, but I don't have bread.
You mean
Therefore, we will have
charcuterie's not just
charcuterie.
this brand new concept?
yeah.
It's not.
So anyway, there you go. I passed that idea to Doug and Caitlin. I was like, here you go,
Smart.
just for what it's worth.
And I think they'll probably jump on it. He's pretty good about that.
That's good stuff.
And yeah, you just reminded me. We did go to the Wildcat Gala Saturday night.
how was that?
And,
It was
great.
nice.
We had a lot of fun. We did take Doug and Caitlin sat at our table, and Jesse
Caitlin's
and
super
Lauren.
nice. Doug's nice too. I've met him before,
Yeah.
but it's the first time I'd met her.
And
She's
then,
super nice.
And then just to keep the energy up, we had Keaton and Dory there.
That Keaton energy.
The kid.
Keaton the kid, yeah, that's right.
I told Jesse goes, that Keaton afterwards, he's like, he giggles. I'm like, he does giggle. And I'm like, Keaton energy, like I could just bottle that up and drink it because I'm not, if I was around Keaton every day, and I'd say this directly to Keaton, he'd probably drive me crazy. I'm
Yeah.
not going to lie. Less story. But that Keaton energy occasionally, I love it.
So just keep this in mind. I was a lot like that about 25
see
years
that.
ago.
That's,
I could
that's an
totally see that.
entrepreneurial spirit right there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Keaton, when I see Keaton, I smile because he reminds me a lot of myself.
Keaton's delightful.
I was last Sunday I was talking to some of our youth ministry leaders, and that's not an area of expertise that I enter into a lot anymore.
Yeah.
But after 18 years of that, it's just they were asking me questions, and it got me back into that thinking, and I was like, man, I miss that.
Yeah.
Being around I mean, of course, I still coach.
Yeah.
So just that.
Yeah, your like
teenage
you're
life
more
is
of a
just fun.
Serious like time. Depends, yeah, I guess.
Depends on the moment.
Depends. But yeah,
Yeah.
no, Keaton's got great energy. He does. He
Yeah.
does. I love it. It's exciting.
And we had our big victory because there was the shotgun raffle, and Doug won the
Doug-
shotgun.
No way.
Yeah.
So what was the
Remington
gun?
Remington 870.
Remington, it was at that's a pump. The 870.
It looked like a
I don't know.
pump.
I thought that comes in different
I don't know.
configurations.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe wrong.
I don't know.
It's been a while since
Yeah.
I've looked at. So it's kind of the only shotguns we buy anymore over under or over unders
So
because
I'm
for trap
I'm
shooting.
going to put this out there. Last year, Jesse and I went, and he saw our friend Jesse and looked at him and said, "You're going to win that gun." And that Jesse Haynes, did win that gun.
So
about that?
Jesse's
the keeper.
and he was sitting next to Doug.
Oh, I need to go next year and
Sit next
next
to
to
Jesse.
Jesse. I think
Have an
we- I think-
encounter.
Wait, your
with
Jesse or that
My
Jesse?
Yeah.
Okay. If
Have
I
an
look
encounter.
him in the eyes,
Look deeply
I
into
think
his
we've
eyes.
cracked the code.
Say, okay.
is this on, Jesse? Are we doing
Jesse's
this?
the
Are
gun
we-
fairy.
And Jesse's going to be like, yeah, I feel it.
He's
'Cause
the gun fairy.
He looked
That's
at
what
me
it
and he
is.
goes, I knew Doug was going to win that gun. And I'm like, Jesse.
I don't have a lot of fairies in my life, but that's one fairy I'd like to. I want a gun fairy. Can I just?
Sprinkle,
If you're
Can I
gonna-
borrow Jesse for a
if
little
we're
while?
gonna have
They
a
sprinkle
fairy.
empty shotgun shells on you that makes that
So I actually,
noise.
speaking of gun fairies, I'm super excited.
Speaking of gun fairies,
So
Everyone's
my
said that before in the history of mankind.
my brother is a lieutenant in the Oklahoma City PD. Has been there. He was in the academy when the federal building was bombed. So
Oh, my
so what is that? Over 30 years ago.
Yeah,
I was
that's
in-
So
long.
he's
I
a
was in
lieutenant
law
now,
school.
so he's been in there a while. So
Yeah.
so on my sabbatical at the beginning of June, I'm going to go hang out with my brother who takes care of all the ordering of ammunition, stuff like that. So he's in charge of the range. And so I'm super excited to go visit him and go play.
Yeah.
We're going to
Yeah,
go play at the
that'd
range.
be
So anyway, I was telling him, it was like last fall, I said, hey, I am thinking about getting my first handgun. I have all kinds of hunting guns. I don't own a handgun.
Really?
Yeah. And so we was talking about it, whatever. Well, he goes back and he's talking to a buddy of his on the force, and he goes, hey, I've got this handgun I don't even use. And he goes,
We found it at a crime scene.
yeah, right. He says, would it be okay if I just gave that to your brother? And I was like, what? So when I go to Oklahoma City, I'm going to get my first handgun.
Cool.
You
And
know what
I'm-
it is?
Yeah.
The serial
It's been
number
months,
is
so I don't
Okay.
remember.
You don't remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll look it up later.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty
Isn't it
stoked
nice
about
when
it. So.
siblings take care of siblings.
Well, it was just one of those things. I didn't even plan on talking
Just
to him
worked
about it. And
out.
I was like, hey, I'm thinking about
Oh,
this.
so there's the gun fairy.
Yeah, that's
Sprinkle, sprinkle.
and then he goes back and he's like, hey, my brother's gonna come visit, and hell, he was telling me. And anyway, just like, how does that happen?
trying
Nice.
to envision what a gun fairy would look like.
But I think that's this friend
Charlton
of my brother's
Heston.
is my
Charlton Heston.
he's my gun fairy. You have your gun fairy, I have my gun fairy.
yeah, so just sit by Jesse
Yeah. I
at
think
the banquet. You'll be in good shape.
I'm gonna say it's because at the Christmas parade, we were in your home and I spoke with Jesse.
Mm-hmm. That's
and
what
that
it is.
very next week is when I had that conversation with my brother.
Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle.
There you go.
So it's like the 6
the
degrees of
guy.
Jesse.
That's how he
Frying
does
Jesse?
it. He just
All right. It's good to know.
spreads it. I was gonna say something
Anyway.
and we got way off topic. and
Really?
now I
Us?
can't
Well, once you get to
remember.
gun fairy, where else would you go?
we talked about corns and gun
Corns,
fairies and
Eclipses.
Tapas.
weird.
tapas.
It's just a very waffly waffle.
Well, that's why we're here.
But it
Waffly
seems
waffle
like
ever.
the Education Foundation banquet went great.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
it.
Like it was very good.
They
And,
raised lots of money.
I
They
think
hit all
they
their
raised
goals.
lots of money.
I didn't hear a grand total, but it sure looked like it was going good. And
You know what I thought our win for as a table was? We were seated next to the buffet.
we were the
That's pretty
first
awesome.
ones in line for the food. That was
That's
the
a
big
good
win.
deal.
That
man.
is
Oh, camo wings. Darren's got you.
there.
The gun fair has
Yeah,
camo wings.
camo wings.
Of course, that makes all kinds of sense.
eagle wings, eagle camo wings,
Yep. Eagle wings with camo pattern, I guess. would
eagle
be-
wings
be the way to
with
say
camo
that.
feather pattern. Yeah,
With the head of Charlton Heston.
that's a mythical creature.
It is. It's like right out of Ezekiel.
I think my hair's about to catch up with Charlton Heston.
Yeah, it's
Like,
looking
some
good.
It's getting there.
Charlton Heston vibes.
Oh,
I just want to apologize to everybody for what's going on.
I don't know what I don't.
I don't know.
We'll look back on this.
Get this rat tail going.
So what are you doing there?
I-
you have a rat tail.
I literally don't know.
You're just like I'm just letting it grow. See
Well,
what
I'm
happens.
preparing this 2-month sabbatical I'm taking this summer.
Are you not getting your hair cut?
I'm not going to shave and I'm not going to cut my
You're
hair.
going full Moses.
When I come back, I'm going to look like a caveman.
I think it may be underwhelming.
It will be incredible. The hair will be overwhelming.
you're like-
the facial hair will be
It'll
underwhelming.
be like spurgle.
what was that?
You're
Jeremiah. I can't think of it.
checking out. You're like checking out.
I'm literally checking out.
Yeah. Take your handgun.
I'm going to get a handgun. I'm going off the grid.
Whoa.
And I'm not working for 2 months.
And if he doesn't come back, we'll know what happened.
Do you have like
He just
different
stayed in the
adventures
woods.
planned?
I do, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, starting with the
okay.
trip to Oklahoma City. And
And the big adventure is no haircut, no shave.
that's
Man, talking about old, you're talking about this. She keeps saying adventure, and I'm hearing Stephen Curtis Chapman in my head.
this is great adventure.
That's the one.
So okay, and when does it
Saddle up your horses.
Saddle up your
when
horses.
does it start?
So I will preach on Memorial Day weekend and not come back for 8 weeks.
Okay.
So I've got this whole summer deal going. One of my former youth students who's in ministry is coming back to preach. Wave Nunley, who led our trip to
That's a fun
Israel. Wave.
Wave Nunley.
If you're picturing hippie,
Okay.
you nailed it. I mean, that's just very much.
I like that name.
Yep.
It sounds
So-
like a professional surfer.
Yeah, he speaks biblical and modern Hebrew.
That's impressive.
He's got his doctorate and knows all things.
Well, good
Israel.
things you have bagels then.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got the bagels.
So anyway, he'll be there twice, and anyway, I've just got this
That's
whole
cool.
assortment of guest speakers
Fun.
coming in
That'll be cool.
that are not named Louis Giglio or Mark Driscoll.
Can think of a few others I'd add to
I
that
can't
list.
afford them.
I do have
I can't afford them.
one request
Okay.
is that you do an episode of the Waffle before you shave or cut your hair.
Oh, that's
You come
fair.
Back,
Yeah.
Right?
That's fair.
Like I want to see you in
The
you know,
full. You
in-
can't say glory in
no,
all of
in
your
the-
disgustingness.
Regalia.
I want to see.
Hell yeah. Sure, let's go with that.
I want you to do a waffle show when you come back before you shave or cut your hair. That is my one request.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, why not?
Well, looking forward to that. Well,
Why not? Okay.
And there was a shotgun blast on Sunday, so I shot sporting clays on Sunday.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, it was
Did the
big.
gun fairy sprinkle empty shotgun shells around you?
well,
Clicky, clicky noise.
So, speaking of shotguns, a week from yesterday is opening day of turkey season. So I was out doing some scouting, getting excited about that, checking my
Yep.
trail cameras and all that. So
Yep.
pretty stoked about that.
Seeing lots of big birds taken by youth.
Yeah,
Lots
last
of
weekend.
pictures. The youth.
Them Utes.
What was that you said?
New regulation in Missouri, for those of you that don't know,
Oh.
for the first time ever, we can hunt in the evening. Used to be you
Eat
were
turkeys.
done at 1 p.m. You had to kill a bird before 1 p.m. But now you can hunt into the evening hours.
Why'd
up
they
to
do that? Any reason?
A half hour, or right up to sunset, I guess. I'm actually surprised. I thought with our numbers coming
was gonna
down
say, I
in the
don't
state,
think
I
we
thought they
have.
would, they
I
would
don't
actually
think we have big, huge turkey numbers.
increase regulations, but
Instead, they
Such
open
is
it up.
not the case.
seemed to be
That's
that they opened it up.
interesting.
Now that's only on public land. Or I'm sorry, private
Private
land.
land, yeah.
Public land, it's still a 1 p.m.
Oh, okay.
Well, we always hunt
know,
on our own land, so
Yeah.
no big
I can
deal.
get on
but-
board
Exactly.
behind that. That makes a little more sense.
Well, nobody out there probably needs to know this, but just in case you do, the Corporate Transparency Act has been passed, and if you have a limited liability company, corporation, or anything like that, you're
Yes.
now required to file paperwork with the Center for Financial Crimes, FinCEN, or you could face civil and or criminal penalties for failing to do
Yeah.
so.
Fill out the application and send in pictures of your driver's license.
Yeah, it's not
So
hard.
this
but
is for LLCs and
Any-
S corps.
any type of essentially business entity. You're
Yeah.
required.
But even an LLC.
oh
Yes.
yeah.
If you're a sole proprietor,
no,
no, just an LLC. Which
Yeah.
I mean, basically, there's not much difference between LLC and sole proprietor. But
I beg to differ, but
Yeah, so
no, when it all comes right down to it, it's still you.
until you get sued,
Right.
if you have an
Right.
LLC, you're supposed to have done this. And I did it.
that is correct.
Interesting.
You're supposed to do that,
Yep.
and so
And it's, I mean,
So
it's-
what are they hoping to accomplish? Is it just more government
it's-
control?
they're
It's
hoping.
just-
Yeah, it's more government control. I mean, I mean,
What is the reason
The
they said
stated
they're
public
doing this?
purpose is, I'm pretty sure it's to stem money laundering,
Money
criminal behavior, and
laundering,
AKA terrorism. But what they're really
They want
doing-
more tax money.
They're tracking who owns what
Yeah.
businesses.
Yeah.
To
Because like they want, your name, your home address.
oh, you have to upload your photo
You have
ID.
to upload your photo ID into
Wow.
the website.
Yeah.
You have to list every member or whatever your
10%
title
or
is
more.
of LLC.
Or an
List
officer.
that.
Yeah.
Like I said, their home addresses, your business addresses. It's
Nothing
all-
to
it's
see here,
everything.
folks.
Yeah.
It's all on the up and up.
Yep. And if not, like I said, it's not just fines. It's like imprisonment and yeah. Because the law abiding.
Fifth Amendment notwithstanding, right?
Yeah.
You're required to report,
Yeah.
or I'm like, wait a minute, you just compelled me to speak.
Yes.
That we don't believe in that one.
Yeah.
The law abiding citizens will, fill this out like they're supposed to. And then I'm going to guess the criminals don't mind lying on an application. But
Really, criminals don't follow the law?
call me
Shocking.
crazy. Call me crazy.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah, because I had to do it because, I'm a member of an LLC, and I had to do that for every member, and then my families had to do that for their, and it was just ridiculous.
It's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because one, I own a lot, but
Yeah.
then I have, I don't know, hundreds, if not thousands of entities I've formed for clients.
Yeah.
And it's just getting a hold of them because I've got to get a copy of their driver. I can't just do it for them. I've got to.
Oh, since you're the, what's that
Well,
called?
I don't have to do it,
Yeah.
but I feel a responsibility that,
yeah.
I mean, these people are my
Yeah, 'cause
clients. I made their entity. I'm trying to reach all these people that I've been doing these for 20 years.
I'm
I've
going
been
to go out on a
performing
limb
these
and
things.
say, unless you're because
Wow.
like my accountant informed me and sent me an email, like, you're going to need to do this. And
Yes, Darren, we do. Thank you for
yeah,
pointing that out.
Yeah.
where it's like you're,
Hey,
yeah,
get up there and represent us, Darren. What's
Yeah.
going on, man?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
my
We know you are.
accountant informed me of the change,
Yeah.
but I'm betting there's a whole lot of LLCs out there who have no idea that they're supposed to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And they're sitting there not in compliance.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
And we've got 76, 96, I don't know, 1,000 new IRS agents with firearms ready to enforce the law.
So it's fun. So there's that. But and that I have this thought a lot. Like, and I will say this too, as I was filling out the application, it kind of stumped me a few times, and I'm a reasonably intelligent person.
Oh, it was so it's
Stumping
nuts.
the lawyer.
Yeah.
That says it all
I had,
right there.
I had to like
I had to
because I'm like
think.
it's like because like reporting company applicant.
Yep.
Okay. So the reporting company is the company that is filing the report, not the company who is making the report. The company applicant is not the company that's applying, it's the company that's filling out the form
Right.
for the reporting company, which is backwards if you ask me.
I'm not sure I filled it out right, to be honest.
I'm not people are it's very confusing.
It's very
It's
confusing.
nuts.
Because, like, I was filling it out at my office, and I was like, JR, let me read this question to you and get your opinion on
What do you
how
think they're asking?
this means.
Yeah.
And
And-
I read it to him, and then I read it to him again, and I went back, and I remember even having to go back and
Yeah.
change.
Well, and there's like
It's
the
a
places
mess.
where every little question's got a little help button.
Yep.
And you go through the entire help section. Nowhere does it define what
Yep.
those things are. It doesn't say the company applicant is or
Yep.
the reporting company is. It never defines that stuff. So the things that you actually need to know, not in the
So I'm gonna go out
docs,
on a limb and say there's a whole bunch of people who filled it out wrong.
which might be the point.
and so I was just like, holy moly.
I bet it's not the point. I bet it's not a trick.
You think it's just gross negligence and incompetence? You don't think it's intentional
Yes.
maliciousness?
I mean,
I think they're so ate up in their own existence, right? All the people.
they know exactly what they mean by that question. You have no idea.
Yeah. And they're not going to tell you.
Well, it's kind of like, it kind of is like everything. Somebody gets in a position and they know what they feel like they're doing, and everybody's got to come to them to get the information, and they're going to interpret that the way they want
Right.
to. It's kind of like Doug having a hard time getting his liquor license, and all of the, because somebody gets that little ounce of power,
Yeah.
Well, okay.
and they hold on to it.
If you just put our humanity out there on display, we all want power, we all want authority. That's part of our
Yeah.
human nature.
Yeah.
And there's two ways to get power and authority. Either you are a natural leader that attracts followers so that you have authority and power because that's
Yeah.
how God made you.
Or you
Yeah.
will manipulate.
Or you take a government job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
And
you go.
you usurp authority. You gain it by fiat that you potentially don't deserve. And so, I've always felt like evil seeks unmerited authority, and therefore government is a natural attractant to evil people.
Yes.
So
That makes sense.
there you go.
Makes
Well, yeah.
absolute sense.
And then you throw in
There's good government. people.
communication
There's
is
people that want to do the right
difficult
thing,
in
but-
general. Face to face,
yeah.
we can, oh, I thought you meant this.
Yeah.
Well, I heard it this way, and it's hard. But so then you take, people that are thousands of miles apart and they're putting something in print makes perfect sense to them.
Yep.
And it just, but with no explanation.
With no explanation.
Communication is difficult already. And then with crazy vagueness by, I believe, negligence,
Yep.
it's confusing.
It's
Very
very,
confusing.
yeah.
And then
Like I said,
somebody's
yeah.
going to end up in court over that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're going to
Maybe
be,
in jail.
they're going to be like, I tried my
Because you don't
best.
win there.
Nobody was here. Nobody
It's
exposed
hard.
me.
It's hard when the government is the other side.
But
Right. You
again-
can't
And
win.
it's like when you're playing a football game, but the other team writes the rules.
Right.
It's really hard to win.
Well, everybody remembers, being the kid, you're playing with somebody and they're teaching you a new game and you've been playing for 20 minutes. They go, no. this is the rule on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't say that at the beginning.
Yeah. Or you forgot
Or you-
because
yeah.
it's
Darren's
new to
weighing
you.
in.
It's new to you, yeah.
It's the total disconnect between the bureaucracy and real life. Welcome to
Preach.
my world. It's absolutely infuriating.
Preach.
Yeah.
Hey, Darren, you picked it, and we love you for doing it, but you're there by choice, right, brother?
And may your voice be loud
Yeah.
there. And I hope you keep
Hey, he's
preaching
doing
that.
good work. I don't know if you guys heard this, but he found like over $300 million of wasted money in the budget, and I think he got it cut out in the Missouri budget.
Good
And
for
if I
you.
got that wrong, Darren, forgive me and correct me if you can.
Well,
But,
and like I said,
we need more of that.
The
Absolutely.
whole craziest thing to me about that deal with the LLCs is, I have a good accountant, and he sends email updates occasionally to all of his clients that say, hey, this is a new thing that you might want to be aware of. If you're somebody using like TurboTax or going to, just a local walk-in tax place, they're probably not going to inform you of that.
Sounds
they
like-
didn't send out letters to LLCs, I don't believe, because I didn't get one. that I
Sounds like you're
recall.
advocating hiring a competent professional to handle your
Weird.
things. Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
to
Well,
keep you out of
and
trouble.
most people that are just trying to get their W-2 done and, file the return, whatever, it's fine. But if you run a business of any kind
Well-
or
But
multiple
my
businesses,
whole point is how did the government inform everybody of this new rule?
They didn't.
they
they
don't.
didn't.
Yeah, you find out if you have.
If you have somebody
account.
in
How
your
many-
corner,
looking-
But think about this conversation I had on Facebook the other day. Somebody's wanting an LLC, and everybody's hopping on you can go to the Secretary of State website and file it yourself for $50. Guess what? Secretary of State's office isn't going to tell you about the CTA.
yeah,
You're not going to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You use a professional, you got somebody looking out for you.
yeah.
Even on that scenario.
I don't know why anybody would want to be a CPA anymore. I mean,
I don't know how they do it.
well, the rules are always changing.
Yeah.
And, people are upset with you because they're like, well, hey, you told me this. Well, yeah, because that's the way it used to be. And now this is the new rule. And it's constantly changing.
We run the
It's
same thing
ridiculous.
with estate planning, particularly when we're talking about those asset protection trusts.
Right.
And it's the same thing. You're playing a game, an adversarial game, but the other side writes the rules.
Right.
And so we always tell our clients, this, based on everything that's gone
Right
on to this
now.
point, right now, this will work.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean they won't change the rules. We can't predict the future, but this is the right thing to do right now based on everything we know right now. But it's an adversarial process when we do it. Anyway.
Just messing with
we
people and
started
their
on
money and their
corns.
future.
There we go. $343 million this term. There you go. He's fighting the beast.
Fight the beast.
Have a good
You have
day,
a good
Darren.
weekend,
Get
too.
after
Keep
it.
it
We
up,
probably
Darren.
should land the plane.
Yeah,
since
probably.
We talked about
Yep.
corns and the
Corns
government
and tapas
the
and
gun ferry.
corn
Yeah,
tapas.
So.
and
Super fun. We'll be back. We'll do it again next week. Thanks for watching. Have a great Tuesday.